Because basically we are not a political organization, we are an occult organization. We're working behind the scenes to manipulate the way that people think. The war that we are waging is a guerrilla war on the human mind. And we use musical frequencies, the dominant frequency, which I've referred to before, and symbolism and imagery to awaken dormant aspects of the human mind. And what we're waging is a cultural war right now on every front, in music, in literature, utilizing the media against itself. And we're using music because that's the instrument that young people respond to right now. We're doing propaganda directly to awaken the wolf in man. Politics is merely the puppet show of human beings, and we transcend that, but we are interested in the control of human beings for our own purposes. We have no concern for the homeless, particularly. We don't have any concern in helping people seek to bring about a youth that has closed its heart to pity. All of the humanist values that Judeo-Christianity has encouraged, we want to wipe them out. It's led to democracy, social humanism, the idea of equality. All of this filth has to be wiped out if the human race is going to continue to take the next step in evolution. We are moving into a much more elitist direction.
I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. I'm just going to make, to the Israelite foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. This is, I forgot this guy, the industry's hoax. Probably did a show in one of these videos. This is the recent one that he have done. I forgot the name of this one. Tupac killed hip hop. I said Tupac killed hip hop. So, he's really an anti-Tupac Shakur individual, which I understand. I grew up in that era. Which he's a good artist, but the way he's deified amongst niggas is sickening, But this particular individual, he hit the hammer and the nail. Now, I don't know how I'm gonna do this video. I think I'm gonna put the another excerpt of these Edomites, pretty much these Satanists, basically say that they control the airwaves and control the minds of the people. And I got that from Truth Is. Yeah, I'm gonna combine these two. And he basically said, to make a long story short, which I'm going to play some of this. To make a long story short, what he was stating was the results that we see today of hip hop, or whatever you want to call it, this brand of music today, it ain't happened overnight. It was a long, gradual movement that took place to make what you see today the way it is. So now you see majority of women being the men, and the men of being the women. Obviously it's been hijacked. I must say, it did not start that way. It started as something that was conscious, something that was for the inner city children. Now, I wasn't born when hip hop was born, so to speak. I believe it was born in the late 70s, 78 in the Bronx. But I so happened to got a good tell of the beginning stage of it. And, it was a trend for the time. And I'm saying it respectfully because, once again, I'm from that era, meaning that everybody in their mind said like, "Oh, this was not gonna last." Everybody. I remember my mother was like, "Why you listen to this? This won't last," because everybody was thinking of hip hop as the new disco, and everybody that knows what I'm talking about, they know exactly what I'm talking about. They thought it was gonna be like disco, and if you go back in time about disco did not last at all. All right, it lasted a short time, and then they just got rid of it. So they was all in the mindset that this new music was not going to last at all, until the industry got into it and it moved it literally moved this neighborhood New York music to way the point where, you know, it's the Jake music regardless, so Jake could take credit for it, but they moved it to the point of no return and completely changed the whole dynamic, the direction. That's what I was looking for. Hold on for a second. Leave her alone. Leave her alone, man. The whole direction, so that way it could get to the point. Now, back then, back in the 80s, music was still good, and you had a lot of whatchamacallit? You had a lot of 80s artists that came from the 70s and so forth, and they was coming back, and, you know, in the scene, and music was good. You know, you had R&B and all this other stuff. So music at that time and hip hop was just newly formed, and it really took root in the 87, 88 with the change, and you got KRS-One, and this whole show pretty much was telling you about consciousness and conscious rap, because you had the party scene, and you had the NWA, which was prominently being pushed right when it came out, which was a whole it was part of the industry. It was part of the way they wanted to push it. So when they push it, and, you know, we heard of the story of these record labels and the prison, and how they wanted to bring more blacks into prison, and they wanted to push the music out there. So the influence was hijacked, obviously. Whatever Jake create, Esau takes and he hijacks it, and he perverted. Okay, so let me play a little bit. I'm talking a lot. I kind of talk too much on that one, Slakia. But let me play some of it, and I'm gonna bring out some scriptures and call it a day.
WA in the Tricked into Gangsta Rap documentary. So to hear the other side of it, I suggest you watched Beyond the Harmony. Was NWA a novelty comedy satire group? Instead, we will focus on the artist that most people overlook, one that most people think stood up for the black community, one that all celebrities avoid telling the truth about.
Basically, and it's true. Let's be realistic. Everybody has, you know, shit that's not good, but this guy's like squeaky clean, even though he's not squeaky clean. And he was an emotional wreck, but the influence of a generation that came from this individual. This is where you have to separate what you believe. What I mean by believe, you have to separate, you have to be biased and really analyze the influence this man had. Was he a great artist? Of course. But the influence, the influx, and the product that came afterwards. This is how you had your 50 Cents and everybody in the South with certain ways, and the term thug, which term thug goes back to I've never seen East Indians, which was pirates. All right, but they also worship a deity. Okay, so that didn't come overnight, you know. And he was the one that was heavily pushing this thug thing that changed the whole dynamic of a generation of young black men and Latino men and everybody. This thug, before they was called thugs, it was called gangsters and, you know, hoodlums and all this other different thing. But he came into the scene, he changed everything, and not for the better. And that's the point.
He was the CIA's most prized asset that destroyed the Stop the Violence movement. He delivered them countless blackmails for incarceration in the prison industrial complex.
Slakia, once again, to vouch for that also, at his beginning, he was about, you know, the youth. So, you know, this guy, I'm trying to look at it as a non-biased thing. the stories that I've heard and what I've known from growing up and seeing with my own eyes, he wasn't that at the beginning that terrible. But when the overall body of work, yeah, it's bad.
He even modeled for it for months to show that every real G needs to make sure they do time in prison.
Squad jail is like, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't wait to get to jail. Straight up. I mean, I was scared and everything.
What, 3 hots in the cot or no question?
It was just that's where you get the game. That's where you got more soldiers at that build you. But now that I'm here, this is not the spot.
3 hots in the cot or no question? It was just that's where you get the game. That's where you got more soldiers at that build you. But now that I'm here, this is not.
For this, Rap has had a...
And let me get the scripture, yo, because let me get a scripture. I can't be just all yapping. But yeah, that definitely, that was one of the main things, because all of a sudden, in order to be a man, the rights of a quote unquote black man to be a man, you had to somehow, some way get locked up, go into prison. All right. What am I thinking? Isaiah. Yeah, it is Isaiah 40. Slakia. Isaiah 40, 22. It says, matter of fact, I saw that 19. No, 18. Matter of fact, before I go there, as Jeremiah 4:22, I'm thinking. It said, for my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are Scottish children. And they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil. All right? They made an artwork, bros. If you didn't come from that area, you might not understand. You may hear it, but they made an artwork of evil. They made evil to be so fucking cool. And even reggae in the 90s. Everything was wicked, man. Wicked. Right? Now, wicked is wicked. Like, you can't really make wicked fucking good, but they made it good. Like Rum DMC, not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good. So play of words, spells. All right. Now I'm on Salakia. I'm getting amped because you analyze this. When you really analyze what was going on, you had these Freemasons, these lower Masons, these influencers, before it was called influencers, celebrity stars, that was molding our mind to make us believe that bad is good and good is bad. And you think it's just cute, innocent, and you not knowing what the true intentions are. Okay? And who sent them. Real quick, Psalm 64. And 4. I want to go to the point. Now I'm going to start. 2. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly they do shoot at them and fear not. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares. So what's a snare? A trap. Privately they say, who seest thou? So they use our own people against us. All right. The New World Order was completely against us because they knew the influence that Jake had. All right. Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity, planning. All right. Iniquity meaning sin on top of sin. Multiply sin. And work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hands. So they made things happen. They hijacked that movement. They hijacked hip-hop. They put these influences in our minds. This is like, these are the new men. Because remember, at this particular time when it was born, fathers were out. The 90s was late 80s, 90s. Damn near every child father was gone. Because what? The prison system. The goddamn prison system. Because Esau passed these laws and made these things happen. The prison system complex has made billions off so-called blacks, Latinos, young blacks, Latinos at the time. Okay? Look up the history of, was it 510, 15? Which they still practice that in Florida. And back then, you was found for a little crack, which crack wasn't good. That was terrible. But you will get worse time than somebody that had coke. So the whole system was against Jake. All right. Matter of fact, let me finish this off. I know I'm all over the place. Isaiah 42. I was in Jeremiah. Jeremiah 4:22, and I go back to Isaiah 20. Isaiah 40. It says, "For my people is foolish; they have not known me. They are Scottish children, meaning they're extremely stupid. They have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. They have no knowledge how to do good, and they was being manipulated to perfect being bad." Isaiah 3:12, real quick. "As for my people, children are their oppressors, Esau, Edom, and women rule over them." Because what? Damn near everybody they was living with a single mother. All right? Emotional wrecks. So when you have somebody that's screaming out to you through music, because it was a great influence telling you about being a thug and being this is why how you have to identify yourself, you're gone. It says, "My people," it said, "Oh my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err." And yeah, this is, Jake lost Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and what's this guy from Black Panthers? Huey Newton, another guy, Fred Hamilton. They lost these figures. Esau took these figures from them. The 70s were nothing but pimps and players. So you lost you had the Black Panthers, where this guy was he was descended from, right? But how somebody that's anti-government group can all of a sudden be a great influencer, which his aunt, who shot at a cop, still to this day cannot come back to the States. How can this one person, you got to really look at this. Like, a lot of things is just, it scratches, you have to scratch your head. Like, what's, you're saying one thing, not him, but the industry, you're for this, but you allowing this to happen. Because what they put these puppet leaders to move you to do things that is not good for you. Slakia. And it says, "And destroy thy way of thy paths." Right. And I will never forget, I forgot what song he said, "Mercies for the weak." Some shit like that. Nigga talking shit. Man full of words. Scripture tells you about a man full of words. And that's what hip-hop was all about. It was about people that was just full of words, that empty words. Okay? Isaiah 42, and he was guilty of that too. 42 and 20. Man, let me just jump to the point. Isaiah 42, yeah, me good. Isaiah 42 and 19. "Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant? Seeing many things, but observe not. Opening the ears, but heareth not." Because the influence, before the term influencers which is really a new thing right now, you had these celebrities. This is who you look up to. All right? What they say, what they dress, how they spoke, everything. This is what molded generations of men, women. Okay? Hey, the way a lot of these women are today is because the women back then were a bad influence. All right? They were groupies. They wanted to be down and so forth. They wanted to be manly. There was a song by Apache, "I Need a Gangsta Bitch." right? When you listen to that song, you don't even it was a podcast with, I forgot who the podcast thing was. I was probably Gilly the Kid, and he had camera on and said, "Yo, girls from New York is like the worst. They mad aggressive. They mad manly and all this other shit." And he said, Cameron said, yeah, like, he said, yeah, this is what they said. They said, New York girls is the only ones in America that'll tell a man to suck my, you know? And there's nothing cute about that. They're mad aggressive, they mad manly and all this other shit. And he said the cause of that was Apache's Gangsta Bitch. So you see the influence that it took in order to be down. You had to change your direction. You had to drink your mindset. So girls that were girly wasn't a thing. You know, that was they were soft. Soft consciousness is not a thing. All right? And this is what that video was about. It was about who killed the conscious hip hop. And the one that when you watch that video, he pointed the finger, and when you hear out of the devil's own mouth talking about the person that did it, you will hear, obviously these are industry plants and everything like that. And what person do you know that he spoke of, that he so-called that he destroyed their career? He didn't. He was just promoting the next form of new artists. But everybody was thinking of one thing. Now, he's not the one that created this whole gangster shit. We know that for a fact. But he helped forward this. And this is why our people are just stupid. They just follow the trend. They're trendy. All right, Slakia. It says, seeing many things but observe not, but opening the ears but heareth not. The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. Talking about the elect. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. So despite the conflict of everybody saying, oh, this is what we should do, and this, that, to the third, nobody would say restore. Everybody said embrace that. All right, this is what we are now. Embrace this, embrace that. Okay, embrace that you're a thug. Embrace that then that thug became a savage many decades later. Embrace these terminologies that your oppressor had put upon you. That they don't look back in the days. They called the black man that was selling drugs and all this other shit, they called them super predators. Look that up. All right, that started with Hillary Clinton. All right, Joe Biden was involved of locking a lot of young men locked up. Okay, Clinton, the one that you love, your first black president, was all part of that. So they set up that prison system perfectly, and they had the right influencers to do that. So let me let this play, Salakia. I don't want to make this too long, but
Had a contentious relationship with the legal system, and Tupac made it sound so grand.
Ain't a penitentiary built big enough for me. And who thinking elementary? Hey, I see the penitentiary one day. Elementary wasn't meant for me. I'm headed for the penitentiary. Now picture me scared of a penitentiary. It ain't easy, but I see the penitentiary.
Tupac helped destroy.
and was that by accident? No, absolutely not. His best album was Me Against the World. I love that's the one. That album is wow. But when you listen to that particular album, the nigga got a song called "I See Death Around the Corner." All right. The flip side, his counterpart, Ready to Die. That's the name of the album. So these niggas was pushing death heavily. All right, and we just ate it up. All right, we just ate it up, not knowing that that was inviting certain things that we did not need. Proverbs 8, and we'll go to the point. Let's say 34. No, I'm starting 5 to the point. For whoso findeth me findeth life. So how you find how you found the Lord? By the scriptures. All right. This Isaiah 30 and 20 tells you that your teachers shall not be removed in the corner anymore. And basically it says that when you hear this word, a voice is going to tell you this is the way. This is the way. This is the path of life. So we finding the Lord finding us and waking us up. He gave us the path of life. All right. He gave us the path of life. Man. It says, and obtain favor of the Lord. This is why we have an eye salve. We could see through the madness. All right. But he that sinneth against me, wrong of his own soul, all they that hate me love death. So when you promote death, you say, I see death, and so forth. What do you think is going to happen? All right. Yahushua said it himself. He said he's pretty much his life. Anybody that comes against him they're gonna die. So you have when you really look at it, man, it was all a work. All right, all a work.
Destroy conscious rap, pushing people away from critical and positive thinking to violent.
Now, some people would say, nah, he had the most conscious song. Absolutely. He had a lot of conscious song. But this guy he was all over the place. All right? He was all over the place. Now, this is the man's breakdown. And I must admit, like, yo, I never thought about it like this. Because growing up in that era, seeing that it's all about the fruits of the land. At the end of the day, scriptures tells you what. Let me get this real quick. Matthew 7 and 16. It says, "Ye shall know them by their fruits. Doth man gather grapes of thorns?" Matter of fact, yeah. You should know them by their fruits. Do men? So that seed was planted. I'm gonna keep going. It said, "Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit." So this whole plethora of gangster rap and all this was corrupt tree. And the fruits of this is what we see today. Hip hop has become the new rock and roll. The rock and roll in the 80s where men was wearing lipstick, there was nail polish, there was makeup and so forth, is the end result of that. All right? A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewed down and cast into fire. But the thing is, the Lord left influencers, all right, legacies. When you go into the scriptures, that's what the Lord always do. To what? To throw people off. He created stumbling blocks, and this was a major stumbling block. All right. So we know for a fact, and you know for a fact that this guy was an agent of chaos. Straight up and down. He was an agent of chaos. Okay? They all are. Every last one of them. But he had a greater impactful influence on generations after him. Okay?
And troublemakers, now listeners of rap are likely to become threats to society. We can see the decline of intellectual rap as Tupac picked beef with almost everyone within that sector, starting with a tribe called Quest.
Well, man, you gonna say?
And then I'm not gonna play this because it's long. He says he made. Oh, well, let me see if I get it. Hold on, because it's kind of a point. So he said Tribe Called Quest, right? So-called conscious rappers. And this is, they was on some You know,
Q-Tip was on stage.
yeah,
It's like somebody was crying.
that was a Source Award. But there's a particular individual. Hold on, let me let it play a little bit. Okay, why is it not playing now?
Or somebody was crying.
Oh, that's just saying.
Tupac believed he was dissed because Nas stated,
Fake thug.
Nas is said to be one of hip-hop's intellectual storytellers and conscious rappers, not known or taken as a hardcore artist. Tupac started a beef. It began in
And he started with that.
not so much of the gangsta image.
So he was going after everybody, right? So this is what this guy is saying. And then when you analyze, yeah, you're right. I could not lie. And they was talking about the whole radio waves. This is actually a good one. But it's let me see, where is it?
King music. In comes Tupac, attacking the conscious.
Heard the Fuji was trying to do me. Look, bitch, I cut your face. This ain't no movie. Then we wrestle.
That don't sound like a diss to me. I cut your ass, this ain't a movie. That sounds like a diss.
Although both the group and the artist were industry plants from the start, I'm simply showing what direction they wanted the community to go in. He then goes on to
And that's the key. It's not against this individual. It's the working of Esau, how he wanted things to be, allowing these Jake to go after things. Like right now, you have some stupid beef with, it's a dead industry, but they want to stir up, division. Oh, well, you know what? I gotta get that. I gotta get that too. Proverbs. Let me let you.
mention others, rappers. Tupac given the spotlight at this period in the 90s, kids of that generation followed his words, his actions. The result is it increased aggressive thoughts and feelings towards the conscious. Think of everyone being mad at C. Dolores Tucker again.
What he said is absolutely right. So also, it's like I'm just gonna. He went after KRS-One. He said KRS-One is a bitch. This, that, to the third. Rakim. But he was going after rappers that was known to being conscious and all this other stuff because he was angry and so forth. And this guy was proving it. So, like he said, he's a great influence, showing that if you have a conscience, you're weak. Being a thug is the way. And this is exactly this is exactly how people think today. To this very day. All right. So let me get this real quick. Proverbs 6. I did this for the last one. And because who's responsible? Who's held? The small hatters. They control everything. It says Proverbs 6 and actually I should have started at 11. It says a naughty person, a wicked man walketh with a forward mouth. He winketh with his eyes, he speaketh with his feet, he teacheth with his fingers. Forwardness is in his heart, and he deviseth mischief continually. He soweth discord. Let's look up soweth. To send away, go, send off. All right, discord. Let's see how they did that. Strife, contention. So they soweth discord, right? Strife, contention. Then he, out of his own lips, he said, fuck, he said, bad boy and all this other stuff. Okay, cool. Then source, who's responsible for that? Esau. Esau is responsible for that because he allowed this thing to get hyped up. Who controls these artists? He's part of Interscope. Interscope is part of, I believe, Universal or Sony. And the other flip side, Bad Boy, whatever, they was part of Bad Boy / Uptown / I think RCA. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. Not that it's important, but not that important. But the industry, that's what they made it. It was all about discord. And what ended up happening at the end, both of these guys supposedly got shot and killed but they left a gaping hole in the industry as a tool, a form of entertainment, because that's what hip hop was about, dissing one another and so forth. But it got violent and it solved discord. So, yeah, a lot of action that was being done because that's what they wanted to be done. Okay? That's exactly what and these are nothing but agents. All these artists, every last one of them, they are agents of chaos. They are agents of discord. Do you ever listen? Hip hop is nothing but, they don't uplift a brother, you know. They destroy one another with their lyrics, and by destroying one another, what do that do? That brings contention. So it's all about divide and conquer. So your music, you know, back in the 60s and 70s, despite these artists had quote unquote differences, you never really hear them go at each other during the records. Why they use this aggressive form to do that? And right? So this is all part of the working of Esau. Esau is responsible for it. The Freemasons and so forth, because they're all Masons. They all juiced in the industry, related, somebody, whatever. Something. Okay? And this is why Ecclesiastes 12 and 4 says, the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall raise up at the voice of the bird. She's talking about a future prophecy. We saw a glimpse of this during the pandemic. And all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Doesn't mean low, it's talking about low vibration. Right? The low vibration. Who broke it down? Oh, Kanye West. He said about the 808 was a low vibration. So the music was put into a low vibration. It became more contentious than uplifting, which lead the people to absorb all this contention towards one another. And it was only hitting a particular group. Jake. All right. Oh, perfect movie. They clone Tyrone, and they show you that in that particular thing. No one, and I'll put that probably in the end. Okay. They show them controlling the masses through music. They weaponize music to influence people the way they want them to be. So every last one of us has been somewhat a guinea pig in Esau's experiment, so to speak. Okay? Last scripture. Isaiah, maybe last. I had another one. Fine. Isaiah 51. And 20. Which is ironically funny because this is exactly what's happened. Now, us not knowing who we were, as Hosea 4 and 6 tells you, because we were destroyed for lack of knowledge, right? So you don't know that Deuteronomy 28th chapter, 15 on down, was directly attacking you as a Hebrew Israelite. You don't know that you went off. You broke the laws, statutes of the Heavenly Father. Okay? And Esau used this gaping hole of our history against us. So Isaiah 51:20, thy sons have fainted and they lie at the head of all the streets. Every fucking corner in America, from New York to LA to Chicago to Texas, Arkansas, you name it, Boston, any corner store. Back in those days, okay, there were Jake standing there selling crack cocaine. There was Jake standing there just listening to hip hop, doing whatever. Angry. They didn't know why. Smoking weed. They didn't know why. They were just faint. They was spiritually drained. They was into every philosophy. Here in New York, 5%ers, Muslims, whatever. All right? Hard God bodies, all these other things. Okay? As a wild bull in the net. If you put a wild bull in the net, what he's going to do, he's going to be destructive. He's going to see everything that comes in his sight and try to destroy it. That was our people. They are all full of the fury of the Lord. The rebuke of thy power. So they didn't know where to aim and take this anger on, but when they see a next one that looks like them, it was on sight. Before the word on sight, this is what they would do. They see somebody and they don't know, who the fuck is this? Da da da. They'll plot and try to rob you, try to kill you, and they didn't know where to take. They didn't know where to take this. It says, therefore, hear now this thou afflicted. They afflicted what in their mind, right? And drunken, but not with wine. All these different philosophies. 5% is God bodies. Oh, Christian, just a regular street thug, whatever. All right, before it says, thus saith the Lord, thy power that pleadeth thy cause of his people. Behold, I have taken of thine hand the cup of trembling. So this cup that this is a generational thing. Now the Lord's removing that cup from us. Even the dregs of the cup of my fury, thou shalt no more drink it again. So when did this happen? As soon as the real men, the real conscious men, okay, awakened. The Lord awakened his elect and taught this truth from Abba Bivens, that legacy from High Priest Yaikwab, King Marshall, our High Priest Arya, Apostle Tahar, all the way down. There were men out in the streets. I was preaching this word correctly. And the Lord started removing that cup from certain individual brothers. Now all Jake is sobered up. But the key individuals, the ones that really matters, that's the ones that sobered up, so to speak. It says, but will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee. Who afflict us? Esau. Like Leon Cohen said in the Breakfast Club. He said, what the kids are saying today is terrible. And it was Shalimar that said that they're talking about Percocet and all this other. And he's like, yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. He said, so why sign one of these artists? He said, oh, you didn't hear me. He said, I got people to feed. I got things. So they don't give a rat's ass about you. Okay? So they are the ones that are afflicting us. They the one that pushing the narrative. They're pushing the button to push us over the edge. And then when we do what we do, Revelation 12:12 tells you, was it 12:12? I think it's, no, 12 in Slakia. Revelations, I think it's 12:10. Matter of fact, let me just get that. Revelations 12:10. Yeah. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed, for the accuser of our brethren. So they accuse us in front of the Lord. That's what this word devil means. It means slander. All right? So they slander us, but they the ones that's pushing the vibration. This low vibration that they pushing on us. Okay? Just telling us this is how we need to be a men. And the women don't aid the women. And matter of fact, the women makes things worse because that's all they know. Emotional ass man. They believe that's a man. Man that can't control his emotions, that always gotta be the loudest in the room. That's what they consider a man. So when you young, you trying to get yours, you try to be like this person. So that way you could get the girls. So this is just a massive confusion in what they'll say in the community. Now, video surfaced. Damn. I know I keep There was a video surfacing saying that the black community is dead because of what this ghetto shit. And who's responsible for all that behavior? All right, Esau. It says, "For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power, day and night." Saying like, look what the people are doing. How can they be your people when they are killing one another? They're smoking weed, they into all this other stuff. They're committing adultery. But who's responsible for that? All right. So go back to this. Let me finish it off. Verse 23. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as a ground, as a street to them that went over. So Esau could come into your neighborhood and nobody has a problem with that. But this is the Lord speaking. It says, Isaiah 52:1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garment, O Jerusalem, the holy city, for henceforth there shall no more come unto thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. Shake thyself from the dust, from this confused state. All right? Because who taught you how to be a man? Esau. All right? You're following Esau thing. That's why it never works. You're following Esau relationship. That's why it never works. Awake, awake. I mean, wake the fuck up. This is not the ways of Esau, the so-called white man. It's not our ways, you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. We have our own custom. We have our own ways to do our stuff. We have our own laws. Okay? Arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. For thus saith the Lord, you have sold yourselves for naught. And man, you sold yourself for cheap. And ye shall be redeemed without money. So with that being said, Lord willing, your brothers edify. Shalom to the elect of the nations. Shalom.